Hi there. Happy Friday. Welcome to the 34th meeting of the year. I'm sure happy to see each one of y'all. Happy Friday. If you'll rise, Past President Eric HEITKAMP is going to lead the invocation and pledge.
Good afternoon. Do I have any, we're going to do joys later, but do I have any concerns from the group right now? All right, well, if you bow your heads and pray. Lord, we pray for the power to be gentle, the strength to be forgiving, the patience to be understanding, and the endurance to accept the consequences of holding on to what we believe to be right. May we put our trust in the power of good to overcome evil and the power of love to overcome hatred. We pray for the vision to see and the faith to believe in a world emancipated from violence. A new world where fear shall no longer lead men or women to commit injustice, nor selfishness to make them bring suffering to others. Help us to devote our whole life and thought and energy to the task of making peace, praying always for the inspiration and the power to fulfill the destiny for which we and all men and women were created. Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh.
It's time to introduce guests. If you brought a guest, if you're a guest and you brought a guest, if you'll please stand, we want to make sure everyone is introduced properly. Thank you. Reed.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is my friend Cindy George. She's a personal stylist with Jay Hilbrun, and she was very interested in the topic for today's meeting. We're a member of a couple of other networking groups together, and she's great, so please welcome her.
Now, I'm going to introduce our speaker in a moment, but JD, introduce your guest.
All right, my guest is Kara Smith. She is my office manager at the Turtle Creek Association. So she's going to help, you know how that is, they're the right-hand person, right? She does all of it for me, so I needed her here. Thank you.
And Reed, if you'll stand. I'm really thrilled to introduce Reed Thompson with Laterra Holdings. He's an attorney, and his father is a longtime Rotarian, and so we're really thrilled to have him visiting our club again. Welcome, Reed.
Thank you.
Nope. I think we'll hand it back.
And it's now time for Miss Patsy Watson to highlight Lynn Searles, our PCR Marketplace advertiser.
Oldham Lumber is a historic Dallas company and celebrated its 100th anniversary in 2021, which also was its biggest revenue year ever. Oldham is focused in North Texas, where they serve most of the largest custom home builders in the Metroplex and have a continuous presence in the Park Cities. Oldham is also a leader in the production builder market, serving such national builders as Beazer Homes and Bloomfield Homes. Oldham annually provides building materials for over 3,000 single-family residences in North Texas and for thousands more homes in multifamily projects across Texas and adjacent states. Oldham's national commercial clients include restaurant chains as they expand throughout the U.S., including Raising Cane's, Hooters, and Whataburger. Oldham has many commercial customers and has supplied concrete forming material for many notable jobs in the Metroplex, including American Airlines Center, AT&T Stadium, Globe Life Field, Ford Center in Frisco, and ongoing work at DFW Airport. In 2019, Oldham Lumber was recognized as the largest volume single-location building materials dealer in the United States. In July 2021, it added a second location with the acquisition of McKinney Lumber in Melissa. Oldham Lumber is owned by Harley, Bubba Fennell, and Lynn Searles. Harley joined Oldham in 1978. In addition to being Chief Operating Officer of the company, he has recently been installed as President of the Lumbermen's Association of Texas, which was founded in 1886, and serves as the leading advocate for Texas lumber retailers. Lynn began his association with Oldham in 1985 and has been Chairman and Chief Executive Officer since 2006. He joined this club in 1989. He is a Paul Harris Society member and a Frank Monroe Fellow. Homeowners and building owners tell their contractor, you want the best product and the best service, get the material from Oldham. And then a final footnote, in late 2021, Lynn and Bubba sold the name and the retail lumber business of Oldham to USLBM, one of the major national acquirers and operators of businesses in the building materials industry. Accordingly, the business will not be eligible for hub advertising after this year. But let's thank Lynn Searles for sponsoring today's hub and for past support over many years.
Thank you, Ms. Patsy, and it's now time for Happy Bucks, where you share something that you're really happy about, and you can share whatever dollar denomination you feel comfortable with, $1, $2, $5, $10. We look forward to hearing your happy news.
All right, Patsy.
I wanted to say, I did post this in Facebook, but I wanted to say my hubby and I just celebrated 37 years of marriage, and we want to do 37 more, so we're still in good shape.
Wow. Yay. Congratulations. Mr. William.
We did it again. We published 2 more papers, including the 20 under 40 section, which has a very nice Park Cities Rotary Club ad in it. So we call that the miracle in the newspaper business when they actually come out. So.
Thank you, William. Great
Congratulations.
job. Super, thank you. Past District Governor Richard Gilman is going to give us an update on Polio Plus and the Rotary Foundation.
Thank you, Happy. When she said to come talk about polio, I wasn't sure exactly how much to cover or how long to speak or whatever. I assume it's like the Rotary four-way test contest that after 7 minutes the clock will say stop or something. I'm Richard Gilman, as she said. I'm a Dallas native. Went to Hillcrest High School with Linda Tunnell. And from there I went to UNT. I wanted to be a teacher, and I've been teaching in the classroom for 54 years. That was 54 years. And my last 10 years have been teaching teachers at UNT, kind of a strange round trip. But at one point in 1984, 87, I joined Rotary. I was teaching, I was a classroom teacher, but I joined Rotary in 1987. And that was a good time because 1987 is when they started letting women into Rotary. And some of you may or may not know, but 33 years later, which is next year, we'll have a Rotary woman president of Rotary International. But another thing that started back in 1987, really before 87, and 87 is when Rotary started doing the polio eradication program. It actually started in the Philippines before that, and the Philippines stopped polio in the Philippines, and so Rotary International said, maybe we can broaden that to the world. And back then they had 124 countries with live polio virus, and they tried to collect $120 million, and they ended up collecting $240 million, and now we spent several billion, this many years later, because of a lot of help from the Gates Foundation and other groups, and from you Rotarians. Your club and all the clubs in this district, in this state, in this world have been collecting and saving money and spending money to eradicate polio. My personal rodeo, it was like a rodeo. My polio story is in 1946, that was one of the epidemics. There were more, but in 46 I was caught up in the epidemic. That was about 8 years before the two vaccines were discovered. And I got polio, and back then what you did is you went to, your parents took you to Parkland Hospital. So now imagine what you saw a year and a half ago on TV with COVID, and you saw all those pictures in Texas and Dallas, around the world, where all the hospital aisles, the hallways were filled with beds. On both sides of the hallway are beds full of children or adults with COVID. Well, that's what happened in 1946 at Parkland Hospital. There were nobody to take care of us, but the babies and the kids were in hospital beds. So my parents took a look at that and said, well, they were smart enough, I guess, thank goodness. They picked me up and said, you're not staying here. And they took me home and took care of me at home, which the neighbors weren't happy, but it wasn't illegal. And if they hadn't done that, I probably wouldn't be here, because back polio in the 20s and the 40s in America and in the world, I mean, polio's been around for thousands of years, but in our country and around here, people died from it. People it had handicaps, lost limbs, and so later on, as a young child, I was taken to Scottish Rite Hospital, a hospital that you all do programs with. And at Scottish Rite, I ended up having about 7 operations, and over a period of years, and so they helped a lot. My left arm is paralyzed. You can't see it. Normally, when you see me, I have a sport coat on, and the sport coat's cut, so that that's not noticeable. But I don't really, I can't do like this. So, but I'm really, it's like a hiccup. When you look at all the people that died and have all kinds of other situations from polio, my little problem was just, I was 2.5 years old. I never had a left arm. So I never missed it. Now, the guy you want to meet, if you get distressed and feel bad at work or at home or any place you're just down in the dumps, go over and visit Paul Alexander. He lives about 10 minutes from here, and you could go see him after lunch, and he would greet you, and you should probably call him and say hello, but you're not going to tell me bad news, are you? Woo! Okay. Cool. Thank you. Anyway, that's the person you want to go visit. You can call him. I've got his phone number. You can go visit him and talk to him. But a fourth of you all are lawyers. He has a law degree from UT. I can't imagine, but he's got a law degree from UT, and it wasn't given to him. Anyway, another trivia thing you might not know about Scottish Rite, I know you all do programs with him. It was started, in the original one, not the one that you all helped. The original one was started in 1922. Nope, no, 1922, is that what I said? 1922, which is when C.C. Colley was born. So the hospital's 100 years old also. It was also started as a Shriners Hospital, and you didn't know that. But for whatever reasons, and it's not a secret, but the Shriners couldn't handle it at that time, so they turned it over to the Scottish Rite Masons. We're all in the same family, but just different groups. So I've told you that story. Now it comes down to what I think Happy wanted me to talk about, is getting you all, when you have pastors and governors come, they always have their hand out. They want money for something. And of course, I do want you to send your officers to the district assembly tomorrow. I want you to send a dozen people to the district conference in next month. And then there's Houston. So I have to say that as part of I'm required. If I come here and don't say those two things, then I'll get in trouble with the boss, the district governor. But I want you to think about donating personally to the Rotary International. I know you have a Prestonwood Foundation, and that's important. You do lots of projects. And then there's the Rotary International Foundation, and you can donate most of the money, most people donating to the annual fund, but I'm here to encourage you to donate to the end polio portion of it. And you all have a budgeted a goal of $3,000 for this year for the polio portion of the foundation. And so far, you've raised $2,609, and that came from Tyler Holcomb, Robert Patton, Greg Pape, Happy Franklin, and Linda Tunnell. And so there's about 155 more that, we're not asking for thousands of dollars. I'm just encouraging you to think seriously about doing more to help eradicate polio. It's time that we finish up. We had 124 countries. I mentioned earlier that we're down to 2 countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan. And some of you may know that last month, yesterday, in Afghanistan, 8 polio workers were murdered. At 4 different sites, both volunteers were murdered last month. Last year, in 2021, 9 were murdered. So it's not as easy as just dropping the drops like we had in the other 120 countries. That was hard work, but a lot of problems we're having now are political problems and the terrorist problems that are preventing us from saving their children from polio. As a somewhat educated person, I kind of think that doesn't make sense, but that's what's happening. But we still we're not going to stop, and we continue to get help from all sides. And I hope that you all will consider making a donation either today, or you can do it yourself. You don't have to bother Greg Pape. All you do is take out your computer, figure out the address, and you can use your credit card and email the money to Rotary International. But I want to end by, and that's good, thanking the Rotary Club of Park Cities for all the wonderful things you do in this community. I mean, you all think of Rotary as your club because you come here and you enjoy it, and this is your club. But there are a lot of smaller clubs that are doing good things too, but when you've got this many members, you don't have to do a lot of projects, but you do more projects than probably anybody. You're probably in the top 3 or 4 clubs in Texas. Forget getting Club of the Year in the district. I mean, that's just shish. There's a lot of districts, lots of big clubs and small clubs, but having traveled lots of places, I'm always impressed with all that you do here at the Park Cities Rotary Club. You really do wonderful things that you should all have a lot of pride in what you do and how many people you help, children and adults. It's just, we need more clubs to do what you all do, and I really appreciate it. Another thing I appreciate, I've been, now that everything's is streamed, I've been watching this club particularly I wanted to say this semester, but as a teacher, but online, because people are watching this from their homes now. Some of them are. I was watching it several times in the last couple of months. And what's impressed me the most is I've known Happy Franklin for about 25 years, and I don't think I've ever seen Happy Franklin as happy or as content or as excited when I see her every other week or so when I'll turn on, how she gets up here and she's bubbly and friendly and just does it all. And I just am very impressed. And I brought you a Rotary present, Happy. You don't have to wait till Christmas, but
Thank you so much. You're always so generous.
I think that this club should be, they probably have, what's he saying? What's it saying? She always argues with me. I don't know what goes on in the background, but what we can see on the TV, anybody that's watching Park Cities Rotary Club, they see a really cool leader.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Our Vice President, Jeff Sheehan, is going to give us a report on his experience at P.E.T.S.
Thanks, President Happy. You may have already heard some things that Jeff McNaughton expressed at his experience there also. But P.E.T.S. was a great time. We were there for Thursday through Sunday. Met a lot of great clubs around the state in Oklahoma. One thing I took away, and as Richard just noted, when we had our breakout groups, you should be very proud of yourself as a club, because I saw so many people in my breakout group of the president-elects writing down all their different projects that we undertake here or have undertaken here at our club. So that's one thing. We've got a very well-oiled machine, as I told Happy on the board. So many other clubs don't have the protocols and the systems in place. So I mean, we're very corporately organized, which is a good thing. Met some great people. Had some funny little anecdotal pieces of information I'll share. But there's a club, and this amazes me, and Holly Holland, with membership driving that she does with Rotary in the district. But there's a club in New Braunfels. So I'm throwing some people under the bus here. But they have 2 clubs in New Braunfels, and you'll get a kick out of this. They have a waiting list for their club. Now, that, to me, I just don't understand that. They limit their club. They feel very good about themselves. It's one of the clubs that at the P.E.T.S. they notified and let everybody know that we really don't maybe want to do this because they're limiting where they want to be, and they're not as diverse as they need to be. But it just flew over my head that they said that they have a waiting list. And then the other club in New Braunfels, they're trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So, but it was a great event. I came away from the P.E.T.S. thinking that we've probably got one of the, if not the best club that was there, and I believe we are. So thank you.
Mr. Stan Wright's going to tell us about our upcoming packing day.
Good afternoon, everybody. So far we've got about 15 people signed up 25 signed up. I have 40 slots, so we don't have a wait list. Yet, because this is a high. The wait list, yeah, I've got a list, and it's who's naughty and nice. And so if you have kids that are 12 years or older, you can bring, like I said, you can bring your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your whatever, to people you met in jail, whatever, bring, and come. You still want to bond with, keep up with. We would be glad to have you. You have to sign up by this Monday, or they're going to cut it off. And probably the bad thing, they're going to open it up to the commoners, not the Rotarians, so just the common people. So you got to hurry up and sign up. That would be a shame to waste those spots. So it's only 15, so hurry up. And also, people, how many new members do we have here? Very many? All right. Yeah, they failed to mention this in the orientation. This is one of the requirements that you have to do. Yeah, I don't know how that doesn't get by. There's two things you have to do. You have to do this packing, and you have to work with me on the 4th of July in the park. And somehow that doesn't get mentioned, but I'm just bringing it up again. Anyway, okay. Well, thank you. Hopefully you will sign up, and if you have any problems, don't hesitate not to call me.
Miss Sarah OLIAI has some updates on the parade.
Hello everyone, it's that time of year again. The parade will be on the 4th of July. You would not believe how many questions we're getting about that this year, because we had it not on the 4th of July last year because it was a Sunday. But it is on Monday, July the 4th. Usual time, usual place, and we'd love to see you all there. We have some new hats that we'd like you to wear this year, and you can pick them up or purchase them from Lori. We are soliciting sponsors for the parade. Has sponsors, and 100% of their sponsorship dollars goes directly to the North Texas Food Bank. So if you know of any organization that is interested in being a sponsor, please let us know. We have varying levels of sponsorships. And if you have someone who's interested in being an underwriter at Gore Park, there are different levels of opportunities there too, and they would see Stan Wright about being an underwriter at Gore Park. But I have some exciting news. Our Grand Marshal Selection Committee has met, and this year they select Donna Pierce. Donna Pierce is taught at Highland Park High School for 41 years. She was the director of their planetarium department. The planetarium is named after her. She was born in 1934 and just retired last year. She's an amazing individual. She's a hoot when you have her on the phone. I think we're all going to enjoy our Grand Marshal luncheon when she gets interviewed. But I think it's a nice nod, because we all know that teachers have had some struggles over the last couple of years as they transition in and out of what the new rules are with COVID. And so it's just especially nice, I think, to be honoring a teacher this year. But everyone should have the first Friday in June on their calendar. That is our Grand Marshal luncheon. So we'd like to see you all here in support of our Grand Marshals, past and present. We invite all of them to attend, and we'll get to hear more about Donna Pierce. Again, if you're interested in volunteering at the 4th of July, we have lots of opportunity at the parade and at Gore Park itself. If you are not in town on the 4th of July, we have lots of things that get wrapped up before the 4th and after the 4th. So there's plenty of opportunities for you there too. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sarah, and Mr. Mark Casher is going to give the membership minute today.
Thank you, Happy. I've been a member of this club since 2006. It's hard to believe. And just real quick, some of my favorite things about the club. One, with young kids, it's been great to be able to volunteer and do some things on my own schedule, whether it's be active in certain years of being on the board, doing different officers, chairing different teams, and getting to work with some great Rotarians, to some other years just being able to do one-time events and maybe just volunteer by greeting and do other little things. The other favorite parts of this club are being part of this amazing community. We do some great things, some seemingly hard projects initially. We just get stuff done, like eradicating polio, like our Salvation Army project, like the 4th of July parade every year, or raising money for the food pantry, or when Philip Bankhead calls you to ask you to be treasurer. So take it easy on me next year. But I would encourage everybody to try something new, sit at a new table, try out a new team. It's been great being a part of this club, and looking forward to doing more over the next however many years.
Ms. Patsy Watson is our fabulous board of director on club operations. She's here every week to make sure that registration goes very smoothly, as she's going to come up and introduce her team.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Okay. All right, good. Well, the first team that I want to mention, very, very important team, is our speaker programs team leader, Richard Stanford. Please stand and remain standing. And is Roger Friedline, is he here? Roger? Okay, stand and please stand. Keep standing. And every member also stand. All the members in the club, please stand. Come on, all stand. Because all of you are members of the speaker committee, correct, Richard? Correct? Correct? And we'll help provide speakers. And we've had some fabulous speakers, and all of us have helped do it. So appreciate it. You all may sit down. I know I'm mean, but, you know, what can I say? Next, I would like to introduce, and I'm going to do two teams together because they work together. The registration badges with Nate Weymouth. I never pronounced it correctly. Please stand. Weymouth, please stand. And is J.R. Priestman, is he here? I don't think I've seen him. Well, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there because now I want to introduce the greeters, Tom Swift, because they work together. In fact, I want everybody that has been involved this year in greeting or scanning badges to please stand. All of you. I know we've had quite a few people. Now, come on. Everybody that has helped with scanning badges and greeting, especially new members. We've had new members that have done that. All right. Yeah, all these new members. You betcha. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your service. Thank you. Now, public service recognition. I know, Tiffany, you're here. And I know we had trouble. They were supposed to get here, and then there was trouble at the last minute, and we were not able to have them here. And where were they going to be coming from? Both of them. Okay. Well, I'm so glad we reinstated that this year. We've been doing it for a while, and then we hadn't been doing it. Now we put it back in again, and we just had some glitches in scheduling, so they were not there. But thank you so much for your service. And now I'd like to talk about the music invocation. Team leader Carl von Bieberstein, if you could stand and remain standing. Is Mary Bishop here? She assists some. I don't see her here. All right, and then everybody in the club that has led from the podium music and invocation, if you would please stand. Very good. Let's thank everybody for their service. Now, we have a transportation committee that I bet a lot of you don't know what it's about. Is Mark McGuffin here by any chance? Mark here? Transportation committee is for anyone that has difficulty getting to club meetings or getting to anything else, that maybe they've had surgery recently or they're not able to drive right now. He helps get them there. And so it's a really good service. And if you didn't know about it, we do have it. And Mark McGuffin is the team leader for that. And just to make sure you can make it to club meetings, or if there's one of the events that you want to get to, he can make sure that happens. And so now at this point, I'm going to turn this over to Mark. There he is, sneaking up on me for our wonderful public image.
Thank you, Patsy. I know we're kind of pressed on time right now, so what I'd like to do is just ask anyone who is on the public image team that's here today if you would just please stand, and then I'm just going to read through a list of names really quick. Pat Martin is my right-hand person right now and helping kind of do a lot of the things behind the scenes to help lead the team. Mark Kasher, PCR Marketplace, Dennis Harrison and Kyle Marmillion have been working on the website and keeping the website up to date. Betty Dawson, obviously, with the Hub, award-winning every year. We really appreciate all the hard work she puts into that every week. Siobhan Abraham, you should be getting emails every week with the club, you know, what the meeting is going to be this week and getting those from her. So that's very important. William Taylor, also with our Park Cities Rotary Showcase. We send those in to Rotary International for the magazine and for mention on their website and things. So he writes the stories and submits those for all the great projects that we do. Lee leads the Shutterbug committee, but there's also a lot of other, there's also a lot of other people that participate in doing that, so we appreciate you taking image pictures each week. Tracy Gomes with LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram, Ian Mudge, Barb Jeffries, Jeff Brady, and Eric Harrison on the media relations. We just had more coverage from the story that you got circulated about the gentleman at Bonton Farms. So not only was there coverage that week that we were able to get out there, and it actually resulted in somebody donating a kidney for the gentleman at Bonton Farms, but KERA did a follow-up story this past week, and I posted that on Facebook. So that was an awesome win for everyone involved. Really appreciate your hard work on that. And then, of course, myself and Ian for the weekly meeting AV and live streaming. But we've got great things that we're doing on the public image team. We've got some great goals going forward into next year to improve what we're doing. Specifically around the 4th of July parade, we're going to have a specific campaign just for that we're going to work out and do for that. So if you have anything that you want included in the marketing that we're putting out for the club, please let me know, and we'll make sure that we get it out there. Thank you very much.
And Siobhan Abraham for weekly announcements. So it's a great team. We'd love for you to join that team as well. So Barb, past President Barb, has planned an incredible Legacy of Leadership alumni social on Tuesday, April 5th. It's going to be at Chris McNeil's house. I'm sure you've seen the pictures on Facebook of his amazing renovation. It'll be a great opportunity to see his house. It's a great alumni social coming up Tuesday, April 5th at 5:30 at Chris McNeil's home. Today is the last day to RSVP. Please send past President Barb your RSVP today. The program team meeting is this Monday. We only have 2 a year, so this is particularly important for our new members. This is one of the items on your red badge list. It's a really fun meeting. We love hearing your program ideas. It's going to be this Monday from 6 to 7:30. We'll have pizza, and so please join us there. It's going to be lots of fun. The all club membership dinner is going to be at the Park City Club. It's a 3-course dinner, $52 a person, and that's Tuesday, April 26th. Please register online. It's going to be lots of fun. I'm really excited about this. And without any further ado, past President Richard Stanford is going to introduce our fabulous speaker for today. Thank you.
And J.D. Trueblood is a real inspiration for all of us who have had full careers, retire, and then try to reinvent our lives. You know, 33 years at State Farm, national recruitment head, director of the agency services, the operations for that. Yeah, I think it said you had 16 direct reports. I can't know how you do that with 500 under them. So you take a major job, and then you, after 33 years, you retire. So what do? You become a nonprofit director in the jewel of our corridor, the Turtle Creek, Uptown, you know, that whole area, West Village. You know, And he's doing some amazing things. And so I'm going to let him talk about it and stop introducing him. J.D. Trueblood, please.
Good afternoon, everyone, and what a pleasure it is to be with you today. One of the things that I heard from your speakers is this is an organization that gets it done, right? Is that what I heard? Well, TCA, Turtle Creek Association, we want to get it done too. And that's kind of one of our behind-the-scenes motto, let's get it done. And so I'm really excited to be able to talk to you guys today about what's going on in the Turtle Creek corridor. So let's see. Okay, so first of all, who is Turtle Creek? So I want to talk to you a little bit about our history. Back in 1911, George Kessler was the landscape architect that designed Turtle Creek corridor. And he had a vision that it would become the premier urban green space and neighborhood. Now, I wasn't around in 1911, so I don't know if he succeeded in that vision. But I can tell you that some concerned citizens in 1985 came together and said, the corridor is slippy. It's not looking that great, and we need to do something about it. The city just wasn't keeping up with things. So Turtle Creek Association was organized as a nonprofit. All of our income is through generous donations of our residents and business sponsors, 100%, okay? So these concerned residents, and I was speaking to Happy earlier, I think we had to have some founders that were part of this club. Because as I read and I learned more about the Rotary Club, your mission statement and our mission statement are very similar. I'm not sure, Karis, can you figure out where but anyway, okay, so the history, so now we know we're a nonprofit. Our mission, and I've got a little friend that I want to introduce to you. His name is Toby. He's going to tell you what our mission is.
Hi, I'm Toby with the Turtle Creek Association. We're here to preserve the plant and animal life that makes this place so special. We're also here to protect the creek from harmful plants and trash, making sure the water is a healthy and safe space for fish, birds, and turtles like me. And lastly, we're here to enhance the experience of Turtle Creek by making it a fun place to visit, keeping it safe and beautiful. This is just a few of many important things that we do. To learn more, visit turtlecreekassociation.org.
So that's Toby. Toby's our new mascot. About a year ago, as an organization, I challenged us to step back and say, okay guys, what are we doing? Who are we? We say this is our mission, but are we delivering on that mission? Because I would tell you we're not. What we were doing was putting some flowers in the medians and landscaping the medians and taking care of that, but we were truly overlooking one of the most beautiful natural resources this city has, and that's the creek and 90 acres of forest. And I challenged us to do more. I love this area. I'm very passionate about this area, but I felt like we were not delivering on that mission. So we kind of stepped back, and we put together a plan, a 5-year strategic plan that will address the health of the creek. So number one priority of TCA now, the health of the creek. That includes bank stabilization, the flow, dredging, okay? And if we don't get the dredging right, that creates flooding. And then also trash. How many of you have been down there after a big storm and seen the trash in that creek? It's disgusting. We can do better. And I believe it is our responsibility to take care of that natural resource. The third leg of a three-legged stool is reversing urban decay. That area is starting to show signs. We've got graffiti everywhere. What I call the 5 historic bridges that cross over. There's a lot of decay. They've got their the railing posts. Some of them are missing. It kind of looks like someone without a tooth. The lamp posts, they're broken. They don't work. We'd love to see those redone. And we've got a safety issue. probably one of the most underutilized areas is the Turtle Creek Park. No one uses it. They do, but they're going up to the Katy Trail. We'd love to see them come down and be a part of the Turtle Creek corridor, right? But they're concerned about their safety. And so we've got to work with, and I already have started conversations with Uptown and some other, the Oak Lawn area, and can we start to get patrols, off-duty officers that are helping? One of our initiatives is lighting. Can we improve the lighting that's in the park area so people can start to come back and feel safe? And then the third pillar or leg of this stool is art. Dallas is so proud of its art, right? We are our art center of America. We'd love to tag on to that and create art throughout the corridor so that we can become a destination, a national destination for the city. So that's part of our plan. And what's exciting about that is we are fully funded. We got our largest grant from the Lyda Hill Philanthropies. We got that just last month. So that's pretty exciting. And what that means is our master plan is fully funded. We have hired engineers, and I just met with them earlier this week. We were walking the park and the creek, and they are off and running on trying to find solutions for the trash, the pollution, identifying the stabilization issues, and where that creek needs to be dredged so that we can control the flooding and hopefully improve. You know, I think we've lost 3 lives down there during some recent floods, and so it is important. So, all right, that's the future. We hope that the master plan will be available by the end of August. We're going to have 3 public hearings. One, we want to gather input from all of our residents. What do you think? I've heard, but I want to make sure I'm right. These are the concerns you have. The architects of this master plan then will go back. They'll try to interpret what they heard. Our second meeting will be, here's what we heard, did we get it right? If we didn't get it right, we're going to go back and tweak it. The third meeting then will be, here's the presentation that we're going to give to the city. So what I'm really trying to focus on is that we have a bond coming up in 2024. And I want to be able to prepare our council person with all of the information that he needs to be able to fight for us to get some of these improvements. Now, we're a partnership with the city. I'm not asking the city to pay for all of it, but some of this is going to get pretty expensive. And we want to raise money, but we also need the city's help. And so in that partnership and that collaboration, I'm hoping that we can be successful with that. So we've got people from Parks and Recs, Public Works on our committees to help us to make sure we kind of steer around some of those potholes that can be part of the bureaucracy of any large city, right? All right, so that's the future. What are we doing today? Because today we still have these issues. So I'm really excited that to announce that we are going to hire. We did a pilot with in conjunction with Parks and Services. We actually hired AquaClean, and they came down. Maybe you saw this with a boat and actually cleaned Turtle Creek. All right. He has devised all these tools. He was able to pull the trash out of the trees, and I brought representatives from Parks and Recs down, and they said they had never seen the creek cleaner. So in the interim, we're going to hire AquaClean to do this for us. Not cheap, guys. It's almost $4,000 a month to have him come in and clean this up. But it is, I think, necessary, and it is something that will beautify this area and keep it robust. And again, we're trying to get the public to come into this area, right? We want to keep this a vital part of Dallas, and unofficially it's always been known as Dallas's front yard, right? So let's clean up our front yard. The other thing that we're doing, I'm working with the forestry. We're raising the canopies of the trees along the creek so the trash doesn't catch in those limbs. And then we've also paid for those litter booms that you see. They're not very attractive, but they do help us catch some of that litter before it goes on down the stream to the Trinity. And so those are some of the short-term things that we're doing to try to clean this up. Here's a before picture. And then after AquaClean came in, you can see the after picture there. He did a phenomenal job. I would tell you, emails, phone calls came in, and we raised $10,000 like that in support of this. So that was pretty amazing. All right, so let's talk about the urban decay. We've got graffiti, and is it going? So, yeah, next slide. So these are pictures of the graffiti that was occurring under Lemon Avenue Bridge. How many of you have been under the Lemon Avenue Bridge in the last couple months or even the last year? Scary, right? I'm a big guy, and it was scary for me. It was dark. I mean, even during the day, bright sun, it was dark. You got all these corners. You didn't know who was around that. And by the way, there's 3 homeless people that call Lemon Avenue Bridge their home. People just don't feel safe. And so one of the things that we have proposed and is actually underway right now is the Mural Art Project. And it is to come in, we found a local artist. Her name is Lauren Luchek, and she created a design, and she's currently in the process of painting this beautiful mural. If you have seen it, I would say, and I would just tell you right now, it is a process. There's some pretty bright colors out there. We've gotten some complaints, I'll be honest with you. And what I'm asking for is patience. You know, when you and this is Lauren, so great. She's like, you know, JD, sometimes even I have to step back and go, ooh, that's not right. But she's on public display right now. But she's doing a fabulous job. We are really excited about this. There is studies that say when you paint a mural, 95% chance it will not be tagged again with graffiti. There's a 95% chance. That's pretty high, but we've taken one more step. We're going to put a clear coat over this at $80 a gallon that will protect this mural, and should it get tagged, we'll be able to clean it up pretty easily. All right? That's fully funded, cost us $65,000. Part of the engineers are also then looking at the 5 historic bridges. We think those bridges could be the gateway into the corridor. Let's get those lampposts restored and get them back on. Could we do gas lanterns? You know, these are things that we're just, how cool would that be, right? To really make it a very charming and exciting area. So these are some of the things that we're exploring. I mentioned earlier, safety are concerns. We're talking with the uptown area. Could we share officers? Are there some things that we could do to improve this? Lyda Hill, part of the grant is lighting under the Lemon Avenue Bridge. All right? So when it's going to be motion detector, like as soon as you walk into it, the lights will come on. We hope that with new traffic and new interest in this area, it will deter the unhoused. And if you didn't know, that's the new politically correct term, is unhoused. I have no guarantee of that. But we're trying something, right? I'd rather try something and fail forward than not do anything, all right? So we're trying this. I've actually met with the homeless. I've talked to them. I've shared with them, here's our plan. This is what we're doing. How do you feel about this? You know, and just trying to create some dialogue with them and trying to understand what their needs are. I don't know if it's going to deter them, but I have let them know there's going to be lighting under here. There's actually some metal pieces that are kind of like waves, and they're really attractive and beautiful, and if anything, it might provide them some privacy if they continue to live under there. I don't know. But that is kind of our intent. The thing that I'm most excited about to tell you today too is we restored, at the end of last year, 14 large azalea beds. How many remember when you used to drive down to Turtle Creek, you'd go through Highland Park with their beautiful azaleas, and you'd end up at Lee Park, which is now Turtle Creek Park, right? And just enjoy the beautiful, beautiful azaleas. Well, they've been gone for a while, right? So through a collaborative effort with Parks and Recs, TCA paid for over 5,000 azalea bushes They have now been installed. So this is going to be their first spring. They're probably not going to be, very pretty this year, but you just wait. We brought back the beautiful azalea, so we're very excited about that. And that was a great partnership. We paid for the plants, we paid for all the materials, but Parks and Recs provided the labor. And so we're really trying to figure out, go back to the get it done, let's get it done. It's about partnerships, it's about creating relationships. Hey, I'm not dumping on you, I wanna help, I wanna be a true partner. If I offer to pay up this, can you do this? And I have found that the city of Dallas is very willing to do stuff like that. And so that's very exciting. I've approached them about the aqua clean as well. And it's not in their budget this year, but they are actually looking for ways that they can funnel some money to us to help cover that as well. Again, it's a partnership, and it's working extremely well. All right, so the art. I mentioned that we want to bring in art. Now this area is still a long ways off, but I guess you could say the first piece is going to be the mural art that's underneath the bridge. But can you imagine, did any of you get to see the Chihuly exhibit that was out at, and it was beautiful, right? It was gorgeous. Now we can't do glass, I understand that, but are there other materials that we could use that could create that same effect? And so I have a picture here, and these are some of the things that I've shown to the engineers. So part of that master plan update is a recommendation on where we could place art. We've also worked with the city of Dallas to allow us to do that. So throughout the corridor, we're hoping that we can bring in local artists and create some interest and have some art that we believe will help create community and pride, that, hey, this is where I live. So that's the art. All right, so there's always, and I heard several of you guys up here asking for help too. How can you help? I told you earlier, 100% of what we do is only possible through donations, 100%. So we make our money 3 different ways. You can be a member, and we've provided you with some membership cards on the table. We'd love to have you as a member. You can join for as little as $100. We have our home tour. I'm sure some of you are familiar with the home tour. Last year was our 20th annual home tour. It was our biggest ever. We raised $200,000. Yeah. We held the benefit reception at the Hillwood location, their campus, so that's the Perot family's corporate headquarters. And it was extremely well attended, and we got to tour Ross Perot's private museum, his personal museum, and so that was a huge success. We're having it again there this year. We are currently looking for sponsors, so if any of you are companies and you want to get involved, please see me or Karis afterwards. It could be an individual, it could be a corporation or whatever. We'd love to have you participate. And then we also have our annual campaign, which helps us at the end of the year just kind of cover our operational expenses. So those are the 3 ways that we raise money. So that's us. That's the Turtle Creek Association. What I want to do now is just, what questions do you have? Okay. Okay. They may not have heard it. Okay. Can you repeat? Yeah. So what your question was? The first one was the Kalita Humphrey Theater, and are we working with them? And so, great question. And can I maybe just take off a little bit on that? Kalita Humphrey is also a nonprofit that's raising funds. Hillwood is very much involved in that operation as well. And we have Hillwood, Senior Executive Vice President Ken Reese is on our board. So yes, in indirect ways, we meet with them and we talk they're doing a master plan. We wanted to make sure our master plans didn't overlap. And so we do meet with them. And what's exciting, guys, is when I said we're looking at the trash, Hillwood's on board. Strike when the iron's hot. Because guess what? 4 Seasons is coming, and Hillwood owns the property across the street. All right? So Hillwood is helping with the trash. I feel very confident that we're going to get this fixed. So where the trash comes out is right in front of the Kalita Humphrey. So this week, we've looked at Carrollton and some of the surrounding areas and how they're solving trash. And it looks like we're gonna have to put something there in front of the theater. It would be buried. It's kind of think of a catch basin. And it would be lifted up out and cleaned, right? Like it dumped into a garbage truck and then put back into place. But all the water, and by the way, do you guys know where that trash comes from? You guys are where? The majority of the trash, Central Expressway. Central Expressway, when they lowered that, and am I getting pushed off because we're running out of time? Because I can talk, folks, I apologize. When they lowered Central, it would flood if they had not created behind the North Dallas High School, look this up, it's a great video, and I actually got to tour this. They have built 13 vaults. They are 5 stories deep and 2.5 football fields long. And so during storms, that's where the water goes. And then guess what happens? They hit a button, and it goes into Turtle Creek. Unvetted, uncleaned, whatever was on the surface is dumped, flushed into our front yard. And so that is what we're up against. That's what we're trying to solve. How can we filter this water so that it stops? But you're right, it comes way from up north, right? Okay, sorry.
One more.
One more. Simple question. How are you similar or different than Clyde Warren Park?
Oh, I haven't been asked that question. What an inspiration Clyde Warren Park is, right? Wow. And look, when you have a successful park, look what's happened, right? That whole area has exploded. Look how it's united. And I guess if I'm being totally transparent, it's been my inspiration. Because, guys, I didn't know anything about nonprofits. I worked at State Farm Insurance for 33 years, okay? And so you get it where you can, right? Those learnings. And I would tell you that I had a lot of conversations. How did you do this? How did you raise this money? This is a huge success. I'm sure it's a model across the country. And so then I go back and I say, okay, what can we take? You know, there's a motto, steal shamelessly. It's like, this is what they're doing. Can we try to make that work for us as well? And so I would say that informally, I think that we're trying to copy a lot of their successes. So, anything else? Okay. Thank you so much. You guys are great.
Thank you so much. You were terrific. A book is being placed in your honor at McShan Elementary.
Oh, thank you.
And I know a number of other people have questions. I hope you can stay after.
Absolutely. We will be around. You can come up and talk to us, and yeah, we'll be available.
Thank you so much. You're terrific.
Okay.
Stan wanted me to be sure to let you know that you will not have to wear masks for packing day at the North Texas Food Bank. I wanted to give a shout out to Patrick Harden. We're very glad to see you today. And special shout out to Park City's people. We really appreciate the very generous and beautiful ad that they put out for our club. Thank you so much. So if you are a board member, incoming or current board member, if you'll please stand. So we have some guests today. If you're thinking about joining, please see one of us and we'll get you all hooked up. Thank you. And now Mr. Mark Casher is going to do the four-way test. If you'll rise.
Thank you, Happy. The four-way test is an ethical guide that we use, also one of my favorite things about the club, and it's been translated into more than 100 languages, so please recite it with me. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Look, you got a happy for happy.